The Brown County District Attorney says he is planning to file charges against a former DARE officer. The Sheriff's Department says the investigation involves money that was stolen from the DARE program. Fox 11 Investigates first broke news of the investigation last year. Robert Hornacek has kept digging and has new information for us tonight.
I expect that I would have charges within the next few weeks to a month.
That's the word from Brown County District Attorney David Lissay about the investigation into the Brown County DARE program. Last October, the Brown County Sheriff's Department placed longtime DARE officer Kevin Vanden Heuvel on administrative suspension as part of what it called a criminal and internal investigation. The department says 2 days after Vanden Heuvel was suspended, he resigned.
I'd like to tell the community that I appreciate their patience.
In an interview with Fox 11 Investigates, the district attorney specifically linked Vanden Heuvel to the case.
What can you tell us about the status of this investigation?
The Sheriff's Department has referred charges and referred reports over to our office on former DARE officer Kevin Vanden Heuvel.
The Brown County Sheriff's Department says the charges involve the theft of money from the DARE program. Vanden Heuvel was the face of the Brown County DARE program for 20 years. To thousands of former students, he's simply known as Officer Van.
What can you tell us about the type of charges they referred to your office?
I can't tell you very much about the type of charges that have been referred to our office at this point, but charges have been referred to our office for his actions that were inappropriate with respect to funds that he came in contact to as a result of his employment with the Sheriff's Office.
Lissay says the investigation centers around money from the DARE parking program. For years, members of the DARE program and volunteers have helped park cars in the old Kmart parking lot on game day. In 2008, Fox 11 ran an in-depth report on the DARE parking program. We found money from parking cars brought in about $230,000 a season. That money is supposed to go into a special DARE fund to pay for salaries and supplies. Lissay could not reveal specifics about what the investigation has uncovered.
Any idea how much money we're talking about?
That's part of the reason why the investigation has taken a longer time. That's typical in investigations of this nature, is to try to determine exactly how much money was involved. My understanding is the investigation into that is still ongoing.
The DA also says the case involves more than just Vanden Heuvel.
My understanding is that there are other people that were involved, but to the extent that they knew what they were doing was wrong or had access to the funds, that is unknown at this point.
Lissay says the investigation should wrap up within the next few weeks.
From your review of this case so far, you believe at some point there will be charges filed?
I do anticipate the charges will be filed.
Brown County Sheriff John Gossage would not do an on-camera interview for this story. On the phone, he told Fox 11 Investigates the investigation has taken longer than he expected because investigators had to sift through a lot of financial records and file subpoenas. Lissay says that's not unusual.
It's fairly typical in this type of crime, white-collar investigations, financial crime investigations. Those types of investigations typically take months.
Fox 11 Investigates spoke with Vanden Heuvel on the phone last week. Officer Van would not do an on-camera interview. He said he's waiting for the investigation to wrap up and that he thought it would be done in December. When asked about the investigation and possible missing money, Vanden Heuvel said, "I can't really talk about it until they decide what they're going to do." Lissay says he wants the community to know that this has been and continues to be a very thorough investigation.
We understand that there's a higher standard that we hold our public officials to when they're placed in that position of trust, and when that trust is violated, that there are consequences.
Sheriff Gossage is planning to hold a news conference on Friday morning to talk more about the investigation. While Gossage won't be releasing a lot of details, he is expected to talk about the procedures used for the DARE parking program. For Fox 11 Investigates, I'm Robert Hornacek.